Dr. Carrie Chant also said, you've already read the title, it will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have a positive case there. Our response may be different if we know people are fully vaccinated. This happened at a New South Wales, Australia press briefing by Chief Health Minister Dr. Carrie Chant. This was not about vaccines or pandemic restrictions in general. She was declared the state's Woman of the Year in March 2021, and, well, she's been with the New South Wales Health Department since 1991 and was threatened, death threats, for advocating fluoridation of the water supply in the city of Lismore in 2013. And the Wikipedia page, you can look at it, the title, Carrie Chant, ampersand, action equals history and limit 500, and looking at only people specifically within Australia, and specifically Sydney, Australia, sabotaging the article, blanking it, and messing with it. What did she do? We will be looking at what contact tracing looks like in the New World Order. Referring to the current state of affairs is actually one of the other reasons for the wording New World Order. Now, the only two reasons a person would do this would be A, to gain notoriety, B, to fuck with conspiracy theorists, ding, ding, ding. And very importantly, did I do enough dinging? She's been harassed by conspiracy theorists, and primarily conservatives, that are not liking the fact that she says probably medically factual data, but I don't know. What is her politics? She was declared Woman of the Year in March 2021. Is she looking for some sort of political position? Okay, that's the nasty way of saying it. Let's do something even easier. Dr. Carrie Chant was saying that contact tracing, what it will look like in this New World Order, or in the New World Order, in the New World Order is what she said. She's referring to the current state of affairs. That's literally a non-ambiguous statement. It is not an indication of it being specifically about vaccines themselves or pandemic restrictions. She did mention it will concern pubs and clubs and other things if we have positive cases. Our response may be different if we know the people are fully vaccinated at that location. We may not close down the pubs, clubs, or whatever. Now, this isn't a country I've criticized for locking down to the point that things can't work anymore for 2 or 3 cases, and then avoiding doing things like closing down all the sports arenas so you don't have a pandemic spread occurrence or a super spreader event, and continually letting people come in from other countries, whether they're citizens of the country or not, and allowing them to, quote, stay in isolation at a hotel and spread it anyway. If what you're doing hasn't worked, simply stop doing it. It doesn't matter if you're supposed to do it. It doesn't even matter if it's a good idea or a bad idea. What you're doing is making sure that you can never get rid of this horrible pandemic. It just isn't going to go away. You have a couple of choices in life, and one of them is that you can keep doing things that don't work. The definition of insanity is something someone will post below, and some of you will post a really cool character from a video game when you do it, if you're cool. But the fact is that constantly and chronically doing things that undermine what you're trying to solve is only something that would happen in an itty-bitty kitty committee of politicians arguing. One politician makes things worse, the other one tries to make it better, and then they blame that guy for taking your freedoms and not the guy who made it to where your mom died. So do I think Dr. Carrie Chant is in favor of the New World Order, or is claiming, yes, this is a lie on Australian newspaper sites, that she's saying that vaccines or pandemic restrictions or contact tracing are part of the New World Order? No. In this New World Order, by the way, if you're not aware of it, and other expressions like it, are actually originated in many, many statements. Yes, someone's going to bring up the Latin, which is not necessarily the same thing at all. And also specific president, who is a Bushy, saying something like this, is referring to the current state of affairs in the world. That's what the words New World Order mean. However, because someone said it, they made it into this meme, the New World Order conspiracy theory thing. It's like the word deep state. If you're not aware of it, deep state is a wording or phrase that was created in a foreign country where they actually had a deep state. No, it's the deep state. No. What about the New World Order? You mean the current state of affairs, or the Zeitgeist, or Zeitgeist as I like to call it? Anyway, yes, Dr. Carrie Chant went out of her way to say something that would get her in the press. She's been putting up with a bunch of shit recently, and probably for a long time. So here are the possibilities. She's trolling people who've been trolling her. Obviously, if you're a health professional in the United States or any other country that's dealing with a pandemic and people are lying about whether the disease exists or not, only for political reasons, they're going to come after you. And she's getting shit on. So what did she do? There's a Ocasio Razier or Hellraiser, one of our representatives or House members or whatever. She's this chick that the Republicans made fun of because she was dancing in a video. Yeah, she has a habit of poking her opponents by saying something publicly that they'll flip out on. She leads them by the nose. So Dr. Carrie Chant decided to say something that would drag the kind of people that threaten to kill her or send threats to her in general into a tizzy on the internet. She's trolling conspiracy theorists and fucking with them. She's getting a name for herself. She's making sure she pissed off a bunch of people who are really needing to stay pissed off constantly so that they never hide that they're an assholes. And yes, I don't know what's going on in Lismore and why they would need fluoridation in the water, but maybe they did. You should know that if the water supply in your area doesn't have enough mineral content, that's actually kind of needed because it's missing minerals, unless you put it into milk. That's done in Australia, I found out at one point, or in the water supply. You should just put more fluoride into it. People treat this symbolically. They don't actually look up whether or not fluoride in the water supply or milk. I wouldn't have it in milk. But fluoride would cause a problem. You can also take just toothpaste and scrub it on your teeth, and that'll be much better. It actually applies it directly. Putting it into the water you're drinking puts it into your blood supply. Tiny amount of it, but not as much as it's supposed to affect the teeth. Why is it used in water? Let's get that done. The reason is that people naturally had better teeth if they had it in the water supply than any other source for it. Not as a mineral supplement you would eat, but simply being exposed to it by drinking it, and it either immediately going to the blood supply or just being exposed to the teeth. People in these areas with good mineral water, I lived in a place like that for a while, would slosh their mouth with really good well water. It just tastes good. And by the way, if you're not aware, there's an intrinsic instinctive desire by human beings to drink non-pure water. Water with some mineral content, like from a stream, if it's safe to drink, is absolutely nourishing feeling. It's wonderful. Yes, I'm sounding like one of those. I'm from Portland, of course I'm going to. But no, really, the most wonderful experience I had when I got lost up in the mountains at one point was finding a stream that had literally perfectly clean water in it. It was a desert. It had perfectly clean water that had been going through plants and stuff for miles and miles, and it was perfect. It was absolutely glorious. And then I moved to a town where the water tastes like a compound you would dump into a flask to do an experiment. Completely pure water isn't as healthy for you as water from a well, period. Mineral water is better. That's why people pay for mineral water. Or enhanced water like I do. Coffee. Okay, I've babbled long enough. Let's get to the point. Yes, this person did this to be provocative and pick an argument and a fight on the internet. And what did people look up? They looked up people lying about what she said or me directly quoting it. We will be looking at what contract tracing looks like in the New World Order. It will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have positive cases there. Our response may be different if we know people are fully vaccinated. People are going to watch her, and they're going to notice that conspiracy theorists keep editing it, but people who are telling the truth let you listen to what she has to say and judge it by what she said, not what lie was told about her on another YouTube video you might have watched. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck.